Change the screen that this Restream platform is on, and there's like a frame around what I can see, and it's all the Abby colors. It's pretty cool. It just happened right now. So I'm going to do this one quick thing. I'm going to click on the chat button so I can say, hi, everyone. Welcome back. And then it just shows up like it knows what it's doing. Yay. Okay. So here we are. It's Thursday. It is episode 306 in this whole process. Good morning, Eddie. Good heavens, good gracious, and oh my, how wonderful to see you. So before I do anything, I want to wish Freddie Moore a very happy birthday. Freddie has been on this journey with me through the whole Pivotry concept from the very beginning. And Freddie epitomizes what we're going to talk about today. So it's not just your birthday, my friend. You are part of this discussion very, very pivotally this morning. So that's exciting. The other person I want to say happy birthday to, I know he's probably not listening, I know he's busy, is Brian Freed. Brian Freed is an inventor, and he allowed me to walk him through the way to explain to people how to reinvent everything. So I thought it was really important to mention him this morning as well. So what do we have here? Well, yes, good morning, Freddie. Did you hear me wish you happy birthday? Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Daniel. I think you're on. I think you're coming. And I'm sure a lot more of you are. Now, the conversation today, right after I have a sip of this magic potion, ties in with everything I have been doing, A, forever, my whole life, and B, in this entire fabulous, magical, wonderful adventure, defining what this cool thing is that we're capable of doing that allows us to recover from pretty much anything that comes our way. It's a mental and emotional reset, and I've defined it as Pivotry in motion. In the last 5 weeks, I have been talking with an incredibly talented, busy guy who lives in Florida currently, who is an influencer on social media. He's a stand-up comic. He's an actor. He's a writer. And he's going to be partnering with me on the evolution of how we get this whole concept into people's hands, how we make all of this. I want to feel like myself again. I want to feel like I'm in charge. I want to feel like I'm walking here. I want to feel like I got this, in spite of the fact that there's a lot of things kind of leaning in my way, kind of a bunch of hurdles to overcome. And his name is Dewey Sean, and we've been talking about the way that we make this real, the way that we make this tangible. And then yesterday, out of the blue, while I was sitting waiting for my car to have its winter boots put on, I had a wonderful conversation with my very, very good friend, my marketing guru friend, Mike Raganold, and we talked about the tangibles. It's all very well and fine to say you're going to do this, but what's in it for them is the conversation. And as you know, I'm all about the Whiffum song. And so we broke it down. We broke it down into teeny weeny pieces. And today I'm going to talk about all of that, because the theme today is, if we don't know how to claim happy, how do we choose it? How do we fix that? How do we get ourselves on track? So I actually have a hack, and I've used it most of my life. And I posted on Facebook a picture of me when I was shopping with Carol Hay on Chabanel Street in Montreal. That's one of my happy places. And when I looked at that, I thought that pretty much sums it up. So today we're going to dive right in. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in our lives, adjacent to our lives, in the looming future of our lives, in the recent past of our lives, that is unsettling. There's a lot about the unsettling sensation that makes us feel untethered, that makes us feel like we went to sleep happily anchored in place and we woke up this morning and the rope came untied and we are no longer attached to the dock. And we're not really sure where we are and we don't know how to get back. And that's very, very scary. No question about it. Perfectly legit. And what Dewey and I were talking about, in conjunction, by the way, with a really amazing program that's evolving in the United States, that's going to come to Canada and then it's going to go around the world, how to help people figure out where and when things went wrong. Because if you can track it back to a trigger and you can see it, then you can say, okay, so the way I'm feeling isn't my fault. It's the result of this set of circumstances. How can I undo this feeling of I'm unworthy, I can't do it, I can't fix it, I'm helpless? How do we undo that? Because we have to undo that in order to get to happy. So I read this very important thing the other day, and it said, strategy is a blueprint for becoming. And I thought, yes, it is. Strategy is more than planning. It is deciding why and when and how, and then what. That is strategy. The plan is execute, turn left at the corner. In 300 yards, your location is on the right. That's a plan. That's a map. Strategy is what am I doing with it? And so strategically, the conversation with Dewey, the conversation with Mike, the conversations years ago with Brian Freed, the conversations with all of you every day is every day is a small new set, a piece in the puzzle that gets us back to where we say, yeah, this is more like it. This exactly is more like it. So Dewey and I have come up with a concept, and the concept is this, because he has thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers in the States, and well, all over the world actually, because I know him. And what he does is he is unapologetically delighted when he gets a chance to see things that make him happy, that remind him of times when he first saw it, when it first happened, and he's able to go back there the minute he picks it up and he says, this was the time and that, my lovelies, is exactly, Freddie, exactly. We're putting Pivotry in motion. So here's how it works. Nostalgia, entertainment, which is what we're all talking about. Nostalgia when we talk about our lineage, when we talk about our ancestors, when I talk about Vikings, when I talk about shoes, when I talk about you can't do it on television, when we all talk about the things that make us our little hearts pitter patter. That is nostalgia therapy. That is taking us back to a place where it made sense. The reason people come to see me at an event is not because they want an autograph from the woman who played Mom and a librarian and a bunch of other characters on a show called You Can't Do It on Television. That's what they're getting in their hand, along with 15 minutes with me in the booth with feather boas and paparazzi and heaven knows what else. That's what they're getting. But what they're coming for is that shot of that they used to feel when they came home from school, and whether they were latchkey kids or not, and they got to sit down and spend time with their TV family, with Christine and Alistair and Kevin and Doug and Vanessa and Lisa and all the other kids, and with Barth and Snake Eyes and Dad and Mom and the librarian and Coach, El Capitano. Every single minute of their journey home, from however great the day was, is focused on getting back to the ah place, to the place where it always felt great. The place where how they felt then and how they remember it now is that place, that moment, those connections, those jokes made sense. They hit a note like when you hit a tuning fork, boom, and the piano or the whatever goes boom back. That's what that show did. It resonated with them. It set them back on the frequency of happy. And then they could go and do everything else. It was their reset button. It was their recalibrating button. It was their nostalgia connection that never, ever goes away. And that is where happy lives. It's not the show. The show is the outcome, is a tangible result. It's not the toy you collected, although the toy, certainly the minute you look at it, is pretty awesome. It's how you felt the first time you saw it. It's how you felt when you identified with one of the kids on the show. When you said to yourself, one day I'm going to go through those lockers. One day I'm going to stand on the firing squad. maybe with maybe with the amigos, maybe with El Capitano, but I'm going to go there and do that. I'm going to get like Thomas Hendricks and his crew, and like you crazy people from the US who came up to my Fame book launch. Okay, so trains, planes, and automobiles showed up in Ottawa for the launch of Fame, the book that interviewed all the kids from the show and a whole bunch of other celebrities on top of that. You came to be there with me the day before, to walk in through the door with me. You walked in as fans. And then we spent 3 hours setting up the set, the stage, the area where we were going to have our launch. And then I took you to dinner. And the minute we left that studio and we walked out the door and we locked the door behind us, you were on the inside with me. You were no longer a fan of a show. You were still fans of the show, but we had become friends, colleagues. Together, we were cast and crew. You are part of the new and continuing saga, the new and continuing nostalgia, the new and continuing changing and growing and happy seeking and finding adventures in Abbey World and in all the other worlds you choose to visit. So when Dewey, last weekend, was it last weekend? Weekend before? He went to 3 events. He was the media host at one of them. He was a participant at another. And he was just wandering around and enjoying it and seeing all his friends at the third one, because they are part of his extended family. They are his therapy. He's this avid collector. My gosh, when we're having our video calls, and he's walking me through the storage rooms that he has all the stuff that he finds, and some of it he keeps, and some of it he trades and sells, and some of it he shows. Those are his moments. And I got to tell you, the joy, the happiness, the contentment. He has this really remarkably unfortunate looking orange couch from I don't know, what is it, 60s, 70s? It's awful. And he has a lime green pillow on it. So my colors. And he sits there like this on his couch with his pink hat. And we talk about this plan we have to, on purpose, open the door and welcome our cast and crew. And it's not the minnow, and it's not a 3-hour tour. This is our destination. Our destination is happy. Our destination is therapy. Our destination is, if everything is right in my inner world, Yes, you did, Freddie. If everything is right in my inner world, how much better equipped am I to deal with whatever's happening out there? How much more energy do I have? How much more confidence do I have? How much more willing am I to say, you know what? This comfort zone is starting to feel a little bit too much like a discomfort zone. Maybe it's time to shift. Maybe it's time for me to say, I deserve better. I deserve more. I deserve to feel the way I used to feel when Freddie stood in front of the firing post at SlimeCon in 2002. Maybe I have put up with it's not that bad too long. Maybe. What if? What if you went to bed yesterday and you said, well, it's not that bad. I don't feel really that bad. It's not that bad. You woke up this morning and you said, you know what? You know what? It is that bad. It's stupid. Why am I doing it? What is that about? And the reason we do it is because it's a habit. It's familiar. We don't have to think about it. You don't have to figure out which end of the toothbrush to hold. It's just a thing you do. And maybe the thing we do is put up with stuff. So the conversation I'm having today is the lead-in. Dewey's working very hard on the actual lead-in. The conversation I'm having today, how do we find happy? What do we do? What are the steps we take? And the most frustrating thing when we ask questions like that, and by the way, not only how do we do it, but why does it work, right? The most frustrating thing is when we ask questions like that, people say, just do it. Just believe in yourself. Just this. And the word just is so, it's not intended. It's not intended, but it's so condescending, as though for them it's easy and what is wrong with you? Just is annoying. I don't know what it stands for because it's certainly not a just cause. It's not fair. It's not equal. It is minimizing what is truly a confusing struggle. And no one deserves to have their issues minimized. So I'm not saying just be happy. I'm going to tell you how it works. So how it works is this. Remember something. Remember one thing. Remember a thing that makes you smile. I'm going to tell you that the day that Matt Urquhart, artist extraordinaire, the day Matt Urquhart said, so I think I may have it, and he sent me this. Good morning, Chris. The day Matt Urquhart sent me that caricature, I cried. You know why? Well, it's perfect. So there's that. It's perfect, and I appear perfect, which is also that. But it captured what happy looks like and feels like and tastes like to me. This happy, this is my world. This is where I live. I'm not only wearing silly shoes, I'm carrying a second pair because a girl always needs a backup, right? So on that day, I knew two things. I knew that I was going to ask Matt to do more stuff for me till the end of time. Sorry, Matt. I knew that I was going to do that because, oh my God, look at that talent. I knew that he had identified the energy and he had allowed me and everybody to see it. The small update to that image that I have made that is on the business card is that I have placed that girl in her Viking boat. Is it out of focus? There. Because of course, I'm riding the change that changes us. I am above, I am on top, I am at the cresting wave. And I'm allowing that momentum, that energy to carry me forward so I don't have to do the heavy lifting. What is wrong with my hair? So weird. So what I want to talk to you about today is truly the how. And then I'm going to explain to you what Dewey and I are going to do. Okay. So here we go. Just checking the time. If you take a moment, take one of these weapons of mass construction, and you give yourself a chance to think. They almost gave up and did a bad thing. I was going to be good. Chris, my friend, my sweetie, I'm glad you're here. I'm always glad you're here. Now, I want you to think of one thing, and I don't care how far back it is, one thing that you can think about, and the minute you think about it, it makes you smile. It can be an event, it can be an activity, it can be something you ate, it can be meeting a person, going to a place, doing something, and in the doing, in the having, in the being, you just were having the best time ever. I want you to think of one thing. Whatever that thing is, and you're going to write it down. You're going to write down that one thing. There's a bunch of them. There will always be a bunch of them in our lives. But I want you to go back and think of one thing that really stands out. One thing. And when you have that thing, and you've written it down and you're looking at it, even as I'm talking, you're looking at it, you're thinking about it. I want you to write down how you felt. Whatever the word is, even if it's not a word, even if it's a sizzle, even if it's a frisson, even if it is, like they say, no one buys the steak, they buy the sizzle. Whatever that little hit, that bing, that adrenaline rush, that that here I am. It's my favorite chair. I got to take off the work clothes and I'm just in my comfy pants and I'm doing that thing. I want you to write down what that feeling is. Okay? You don't have to do it today, but those are the steps. Write down the thing and then write down the word that you associate with it. Okay? That's your trigger mechanism. That is the bar by which you judge everything. Because let's say when I look at that and it makes me tear up because it reminds me of everything that is exactly right. If you're on Facebook watching me from Facebook and you go on my page and you see that expression in my face, Carol Hay took the picture. I forget why I'm looking like that, but that expression on my face is me remembering every great time at Chabanel and every great time hanging out with, getting into all kinds of remarkable trouble with Carol Hay. Two hits in one. There we are. And we're in this goofy room with all these crazy lights. And it was just magic. And I had both of those things go bing. And there's the smile. There's my happy right there. What triggered it? My moment. My anchor point that said, this is mine. This is me. And I'm going to tell you something really, really amazing and exciting and wonderful. No one can ever take that away from us. It's ours. No matter what else happens, no matter how terrible we feel, no matter, Chris, you're having a bad day. Your stepfather's coming out. Oh, cool. Oh, good, Freddie. You're going to have a wonderful day. Excellent. Excellent. Whatever your moment, activity, event, food, person, whatever it is, and you write it down and you know what it is and what the feeling is, where it is. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Doesn't matter. It's all exactly where it's supposed to be. Write that down. And then You know how I'm always saying on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your day? So whatever that sensation is, that is your awe therapy, your awe moment, then every other thing that happens to you, you can rate on a scale of awes. How many is this? It's 2 awes, it's 10, it's 46. Banner. Are they on sale? Can we get more of them? Every time we have that opportunity to revert to something we know, we remember, it's as clear as if it's still happening, because the minute we think about it, it is still happening. Then we can only think and focus on one thing at a time. You all know my definition of multitasking. We can't actually, what we're doing is we're jumping quickly back and forth and tripping on the doorway on the way through. As we think and focus on that happy, and we can say, this is 6 ahs, this is 7, this is 10, this is 14, this is 2. We own those ahs. It's who we are. Happy is who we are. Everything else gets in the way, the baggage, the stuff. We need to go to a job. We may not love the job, but we can go and do a great job at the job and feel good about ourselves. We can go to a scenario in which we do not feel great because someone is not happy, is not well. Something has happened, and it's confusing and terrifying and toxic. And we may not be able to fix it. We may not be the hero of the day, but that we are able to go, that we are willing to go and be there, be in that moment for those people, with those people, of those people, is our contribution to their safe passage from wherever they are to wherever they need to be. We are walking with them. We are giving them our support, unconditional. And even if we can't fix it, we can't be the hero, we can't change things, we can give to the person we care about a portion of our commitment to happy. And it's contagious. And it gives them the energy and the serenity, the peace they need to make that journey, to get through it, because we're all in it together. So to recognize you're happy, to own your happy, to call it up when you need it, to give yourself permission to say, okay, I'm going to be in my happy place for the next hour. I give myself permission while I'm doing my 30-second 5-finger breathing exercise to reset and let go of stuff that is interfering with what I want to be and how I want to feel today. While I'm doing this, this is part of my happy. Why? Well, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing to make the change. I'm choosing to get to the place that gives me the energy to say, bring it. How we find our happy and how we choose it is we use the trigger that is front and center anytime we want it. We don't need to have the tangibles. It's fun to have the tangibles, but we don't need the tangibles. I can visualize myself putting on that costume, looking in the mirror and sighing, and then going to the makeup room to look really unfortunate in a minute. I can visualize that without the cost, without that being right here with me. Although that helps, right? That helps. So Happy is where we feel safe, is where we feel valued, is where we feel connected, is where we feel part of. You know, when Freddie made that journey, that incredible journey to Ottawa for SlimeCon, and he got to stand in front of the post for the firing squad, and he got to sit there and meet everybody and talk to Les and talk to the kids, talk to the producers. He fulfilled a happy. He made himself that gift. He wrapped it, he packaged it, and he delivered it because it mattered to him. Because his joy and his connection to that show galvanized him to say, whatever it takes, I can do that. And if I can't do it, I'll figure it out along the way, because that's how much it means to me. Now, I'm not suggesting that knowing where happy is, and about happy that you do, Chris. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Freddie. Happy's a bright, shiny. Thank you. What we are looking for is the magic door. We're always looking for the magic door. When we get on a scale and realize we haven't lost the 7 pounds and it is already tomorrow, Friday, and we say, okay, where's the magic door? Where's the beam me up? Where's the easy button? And the easy button is our happy place, is our awe therapy. It's therapy. It's not awe therapy. Picture it. A-H-H-H-H. Therapy. It takes us to that spot. We don't have to be there long. And as Dewey and I have discussed, the fan cons movement, the industry, the gatherings together of people who go to conventions in order to share their love, their passion, their memories, their connection to the toys and the collectibles and the games and the costumes and the shows and the celebrities and the moments when they first saw, felt, touched, ate, lived that experience. The reason everybody goes is to reconnect with everybody else who feels the same way. It is the safest space in the world. It is the place where everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. You go to these events, nobody's on their phone except to take a picture. Or saying, I'm over in this aisle, come and join me. You won't believe what I'm seeing. But they're not scrolling. They're present. They're in this moment. Lots of people go to places thinking they're going to be in the moment. They spend time and money. They get dressed. They buy the ticket. They go. And yet they're on the phone because the moment did not hit them where they live. So Dewey and I have this, I think it's a brilliant idea. And Freddie, you'll remember we've talked about what is Diamond Club and when is it happening. We are changing the name of Diamond Club and we're calling it the Unforgettables. Because it makes sense. It touches us. Somebody is trying to call and I'm not going to talk to them because you are my happy place. The Unforgettables. You can tell me what they are to you. To me, you are the Unforgettables. You. What else is an unforgettable? These things, those things, they're unforgettable. Why? Because the minute I look at them, I'm right back where I was the first time I saw them. My silly Viking axe, can you see it? Am I the wrong way? Yeah, there's my Viking axe. Can you see it on the shelf? So that's my Thor. So it's not an axe. It's my Thor hammer. And the Thor hammer is 2 things. No, it's not. It's 3 things. The first thing it is ridiculous, which appeals to me enormously. It's plastic. There's a button on it, turns it on. When you hit the switch, it goes and it flashes blue. The second thing is it speaks to my ancestry. And the third thing is that it was a gift, unexpected, out of the blue, from a very wonderful person I knew a long time ago. Out of the blue, I got a message. Something's coming in the mail for you. I saw it. And I said, she has to have it. And I do. So how incredible a happy hit is that Thor's hammer. It's off the charts. Every time I pick it up, it's all those three things. Plus, every laugh I've had when I've used it with people who say, oh, for God's sake. It's just amazing. So this is what Dewey and I have decided to do. The Diamond Club is the Unforgettables. It is a membership concept. Very inexpensive. I think it's something like $2.50 a day if you were buying by the day. And you can buy by the month, you can subscribe by the month, or you can subscribe by the year. We're going to have a group on Facebook that people can join. And they can just join the group. They don't have to subscribe. They can just be part of what's going on. Dewey's connected to all these other groups. It's going to be, I think, many, 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 many tens of thousands of people in a very short time. And the reason for the subscription is that we are going to be going to the cons. If he's going to them in the States, then I will join him virtually via Magic. And if I'm going to them here, he will be joining me virtually by Magic with cameras and whatnot. And I am going to be doing, and he is going to be doing what, Freddie, you will remember I did with you and Chris. We are going to be interviewing people, talking to them about their awe moment, their decisions to say, not good enough, I'm going this way. Their decision to experience, to allow themselves to experience the Pivotry moment, the reset moment, to take ownership of their lives and do the thing that makes them happy. So we are going to be present at events. We are going to be interviewing people, showcasing people, talking to people, writing stuff with people, getting their story, instead of them saying to me how many times we were slimed or telling me how many times I was slimed. We're going to talk about them and their slime-worthy moment. We're going to showcase all of you who have chosen to invest in your because you deserve it. Change is only hard when we didn't think of it. When life changes around us, like a big tsunami wave, we can allow ourselves to be inundated, or we can get in our Viking boat and we can ride the crest of that changing wave and allow that change to carry us forward instead of frantically rowing. It's up to us. Happy is within our grasp. How we find it, how we grab it, is by touching the last place happy made. The last place we felt that bing, and we all remember it. Every one of us remembers it. It's not difficult. All we have to do is give ourselves permission to do it, to take the time, to choose us. I'm just going to need a minute, 30 seconds. I'm going to go to my happy place. Breathe it in, smile, feel all the good tingles, and then go back to do the thing you were doing. But go back owning it. You don't like the work? That's okay. You can be proud of the outcome. You didn't manage to finish everything. You didn't save everyone. You saved a lot. You made a lot. You are part of the solution. You did make change happen. You made a difference. And you make a difference every day. And when we get sidetracked, and when we get caught up in the sad part of nostalgia, when we wish for things that were to still be today, we're closing the door on possibility. While we're looking in the rearview mirror, we don't see the truck coming at us. And the truck is filled with happy. If we're looking back and saying, oh gosh, that was incredible, bang. Or worse, it turns and goes the other way and we miss it entirely. We have to choose, us. We have to choose to own the change. We have to choose to ride the change, to claim the change. We already are the change. We don't have to be the change. We don't have to do more to be more. We're already all. We have to choose to prioritize it. I'll just do 6 more hours and then I'll stop. No, stop for 30 seconds now. Stop for 30 seconds now. Do the 5-finger breathing thing. Lie face down on the cool linoleum. I don't know what you need to do for 30 seconds, but do it. And now you will have the energy. And if you think of something nostalgic, you have the energy to do the remaining 5 hours instead of slogging without stopping. Because all waves that come recede so they can return. That's how it works. That is us too. How we find the change. I may find content, but I'm searching so hard for happy. Then you're doing it the wrong way. You're doing it the wrong way. As my brilliant, brilliant show business child, Tyler Westerland, said, if you're chasing it, you're doing it wrong. When you chase an animal, it runs. When you chase the wet spot on the highway, it recedes in front of you. When you chase happy, you're doing it wrong because happy isn't on the outside. Happy is on the inside, Chris. Happy is waiting for you to look in. And it's going, geez. Hello, hello, I'm right here. Hello, tap, tap. Happy's on the inside. Happy is not out there. Happy is us. And all we must do is give it permission to be a priority. Allow it to come forward. How we allow it to come forward is to think of that one thing that made us grin. Think of that one thing that made us say, God. That's happy. Allow us to go there. Give us permission. 30 seconds. Give us permission to go there. What's the silliest thing that you ever did that people actually witnessed? I could be here for 7 hours and not be done telling you the silly things people have witnessed in my life. And it wasn't for television. This was a real show. All I have to do is cherry pick which one I want to think about. Okay? So we are coming into a change in many ways. We are coming into a tsunami in many ways. And I want to explain, I'm just checking the time. When I look down there, there's a little clock. I want to explain why this is important. This is the rehearsal. People who look flawless on television, flawless on stage, they are rehearsed, they practiced. As Samuel Goldwyn famously said many, many, many decades ago, we're going to rehearse this thing till it's spontaneous. What we do repeatedly over time, we succeed at. If we eat 17 Twinkies a day for a year, we will succeed at congestive heart failure and obesity. Pretty much guaranteed. If what we do every day is give ourselves the 30-second break, better if you can give yourself the 60-second reset, but the 30-second break works too. The later folder, write it down, put it away, deal with it later. Clear the head, clear the brain, clear the heart, clear the soul, carry on. That's where happy lives. How we get to it is we think of one thing that never goes away. The minute we think of it, we just automatically smile. Some of my children, really, some of my showbiz children, when I think of some of the things that they did, sometimes on purpose, not always. How's that working for you? This is our pure gold. This is our superpower. This happy, the therapy is the nugget of energy that triggers the Pivotry moment in our heads, in our hearts, in our souls. It gives us permission to say, thank you, but no, I will love you from afar and go our merry way. Therapy. How are we going to do it? We're going to create a group. People can join the group. We're going to reach out to other groups and invite them to be active cast and crew members of the Unforgettables. Buy a membership, subscribe. Buy it for a month, see if you like it. And then participate in the extras, because we get this and we will continue to get this for as long as anybody wants. But there are going to be extras. And the extras, and I'm not telling you today, the extras are available VIP access, limited to our cast and crew, the people who do the heavy lifting, because we are worth it. The Unforgettables are the people who say, this is mine. My happiness is mine. This moment together with my fellow gamers, with my fellow collectors, with my cosplayers, with my just showing up to be in a building with people who said, yes, I have social anxiety. Yes, I went through hell. Yes, this was difficult. Yes, it was not easy to overcome. Here I am among my peers. Here is where I belong. Here is where I'm safe. This is our audience. This is our niche. Dewey and I represent nostalgia entertainment in every way, shape, and form. And we are participating in it with you and giving you VIP access to the making, the creating, the contributing, the collaborating in the moment experience. And I have never been more excited about anything in my life. What he brings, I can't do. What I bring, he can't do. Together, watch and learn. Watch and learn. It's amazing. So this is happening. It's happening very soon. In fact, I can even tell you, I think I can tell you, I'm going to tell you. We're going to launch it just in advance of US Thanksgiving, because not only do we want you to know about it, but we're going to create a gift certificate opportunity so that you can buy for someone you care about, someone who is a nostalgia fan. You can buy them the ultimate Christmas gift. Kind of a cool way for us to thank you for being you and for being on the journey with us, while everybody is giving thanks and wishing they didn't have to sit next to Aunt Edna again. So that's where we're going. Unforgettable, that's what you owe. Thank you. I'm really trying to emphasize. It may be. I hope it is. I can't find it. Okay. It's no. See, Chris, if you read what you just wrote, there is no fault. You're choosing that. You're choosing for some reason to think of what you are and what you do as in some way flawed. However, you and I both know, tangibly know, factually know, the number of people whose lives have been changed for the better by participating in all the many great, cool, disastrous, whatever they were, nostalgia, entertainment, adventures that you created. That is your superpower. Their joy and their memories of their joy in participating in those events that you triggered, that you engineered, that you produced, that's their happy place. And you built it so that they could go. That's where your happy is. In the faces and in the memories of all the people who will never forget what you did to give them their happy place. It's a lot simpler. You're looking too hard in the wrong place, and it's right there. And I can come up with countless other examples. So there. So where we are today on Thursday is climbing into the boat, getting set to ride the breaking wave. As I was starting to say a minute ago, and then I kind of veered off course for a moment, we have challenging times ahead. We have a lot of very, very big changes taking place all over the world. We have all kinds of natural events and occurrences that have always been challenging, and they are challenging now. And what I want you to see and give you the context for, and I realize this is going a bit long, but I think this is important. When we hear stories about people who were captured and were taken prisoner in war, and we watch movies and read books and hear stories and experience interviews with people who were imprisoned, rightly or wrongly, one of the things that is done to the prisoner in order to teach them a lesson, in order to alter their ability to cope, is they're put in isolation. They are separated from the things that they know, the things that they cherish, the things that make them feel safe. Sometimes, if they're perceived as troublemakers, they're even isolated from their fellow prisoners. And they go into something called solitary confinement. And every single one of us knows from watching those movies, hearing those stories, reading those books, knowing somebody firsthand, it's a very, very difficult experience to recover from, because mankind is not built to be isolated. Mankind is a group animal. We come together for our survival and our thrival. We're not naturally hermits, most of us. And when we are in isolation, without any instructions, without any tools, we struggle to figure out how to get through, how to get by. Some people do with relative ease. Others do not, because they needed more instruction. They needed more support. It's just the way they're wired. Doesn't make them weak. It makes them that way wired. When they come out of, there is a very long period of time for many of them that people understand they need in order to recover. It's like if you run a marathon, everybody understands that you need to sit down for a minute and maybe not climb stairs or something. I mean, I just put my feet up for a minute and breathe. I can't really lift a fork. I'm too tired. Could you feed me? Right? So we're all familiar with that. I am now using this technique, this strategy that I explained about. Find the moment that made you smile. Find the moment that made you feel Find the moment that made you feel validated. Write it down. Write down the emotion you felt. Look at those two things. There's where you're going to find your happy. There's where you're going to go back to your happy. That one spot, that one event, experience, and the emotion, those are your tools. We do the same thing, and that's called profiling, by the way. We do the same thing. What was the event? What was the moment that was too much to bear? How did you feel when you were in solitary confinement? Write that down. When you look at it, tell me exactly how close that feels to the way you have felt during and since the pandemic. And most of you are going to go, huh. And this has not been looked at. This has not been studied. This has not been treated. And therefore, people are in functional freeze. They're staggering around trying to get back to where they were, and they can't figure out why not. And Chris, you said, I feel like a failure. You're not a failure. You broke something. Something broke. You didn't break it. Something broke, and it needs to be fixed. You didn't break it. It got broken. It needs to be fixed. As we fix it, we heal. As we heal, we are ready to come back. Nobody's doing that. The one thing that is doing that consistently, all on its own, without intention, is nostalgia entertainment. Because when we go there, we automatically overshadow, overshoot, override whatever our toxic experience is, and we go back to our happy. We go back to our, does it cure it? No, it's a Band-Aid, but it works. And so what Dewey and I are doing is finding a way to give the Band-Aid the power, the conscious, deliberate strategy, blueprint power to give the power back to us, to give us the ability to say, this is mine. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to be. I'm ready for Pivotry. That's what we're doing. How cool is that? So that's the secret. Tell people. It's a secret now. I'm just telling it to you. You can tell people. You can say, Abby is up to something. This whole Pivotry thing, we now have it in a box. It's called The Unforgettables. And it's awesome. Okay. So the weekend is upon us. Things to do. I went and got my winter boots on my beautiful little car. We have to. Tuesday, November 19th would have been Leslie's 100th birthday. Yeah. Yeah. We'll think about him. We'll think about him. We'll talk about him. It'll be amazing. This is an amazing session with you. You're an amazing lady. Kelly Hewlett, you're not so bad yourself, hon. So here we go. You made me cry again, but the good kind. Thank you, Abby. Well, you're very welcome, Chris. The way I make people cry is I give them a good shot upside the head when they're looking the other way. Boof. Freedom, blue skies, Barthy Burgers, girls. Okay, weekend. Be good to you. Take the 30 seconds. Have a little chat, a little hug with your ah moment. Give yourself permission to say, this is mine. It's always been mine. It always will be mine. And you have permission to visit it anytime you want. And you don't even have to put on your uncomfortable clothes. And I will see you again on Tuesday. I will have more news for you on Tuesday. I will have all the information that you need in order to investigate and find out more. We're working on the website. It's very cool. And we will be spreading the word until you can almost can't stand it. It's just going to be best thing ever. Long haul too. Long haul, right, Freddie? I've been working on this whole Pivotry thing now for almost 6 years. 6 years. Worth every moment. Okay? So you know the drill. Be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. Thank you for watching. You mean the world to me. You are part of my happy place.